Okay, so we are. Oh, all right. So we're looking at a couple that negotiates a 25-year mortgage of this amount. So that's your PV at a fixed rate of 7.5. So just go through and highlight all the key things that we need. It's a monthly scheme, and it's for 7 years. All right. So that's the first part. Then at the market rate for the remainder of the loan. So the way mortgages worked are you can either get a mortgage on a fixed rate, which you sort of agree at the beginning, or you can go on what they call variable rate. And that changes every year, or like changes every 6 months sometimes. So that usually is a better deal, but it's more risky because it could go up. So obviously they're going for two different portions of this loan, and then they're going to agree to monthly payments of this, so that needs highlighting, for the first 7 years, so for the first portion of the loan. So the amount owing after the first 7 years, so that's part of the loan one. So for part A, we're going to work out where they get to, so what FV is, after 7 years. So you've got your N, your I, PV, PMT, future value, and then your PPY, CPY. So that's 12. I is your 7.5. So the first bit's pretty straightforward, isn't it? N is 7 years, but in months, so 7 times 12. PV is a loan, so it's getting given to the person, so it's 150,000 positive. PMT is negative, it's going back to the bank, so it's negative 1100, and then future value is the unknown for this part of the question. All right, so we're just going to open up Finance Solver, menu, Finance Solver. Right, so 7 times 12, 7.5. Is that how much it was? 7.5. Yep. PV is 150 grand. PMT is negative 1100. Future value is 0. We'll leave blank, so we'll go back to future value and press enter. So that is the value that it gets to after the 7 years. All right, so we better write that down now. So that's 132,119.82. 2119.82. Let's check if I got that right. Yep. Okay, and that comes up as a negative number because it's still being owed. Okay, but the answer to the question A is obviously still a positive number. This is how much is owing. Okay, next part, they're asking the new monthly payments required to pay off the loan if after 7 years the market rate has risen to 8.5. Okay, so that's called a changing condition. Effectively, after 7 years, you have to continue the loan with this new condition. And the principal at the start of the new time period is the amount that was left owing. So N, the union required to pay off the loan after. So N is, we're going to work out in a second before we carry on. I is the new amount, which is 8.5. PV this time is the amount left owing from before. But be careful because the sign has to be changed. So instead of it being negative 13211, it has to be positive because this amount is still sitting in the couple's bank account. Okay, so it's still sitting with them, so it's positive. If it's in your bank, it's positive. If it's in the bank's bank, like back to where they keep it, then it goes negative. So FV this time will be 0, and PMT is the unknown that we're being asked. PPY, CPY hasn't changed. And now we just need to quickly fill in what N is. So remember that the first section was for the first 7 years. Now it's a 25-year loan, so that means that the second section must be the difference there. So it's 15 plus 3 is 18 more years. So that's going to be, the easiest way to do this is just to write 18 times 12 into the box. Alright, so now we're going to get Finance Solver back up. You can just press tab to delete what's in there. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. So we've got 18 times 12. We've got 8.5 there. We've got 132,119.82. And we've got payments of unknown. Future value for this one is 0 because we want to pay off the loan. So this doesn't need like any final payment calculation because we're being asked to fully repay it, and it's being flexible as to what the payment's going to be. Sometimes, if they've told you what the payment is, it might not perfectly fit, and so you might have to do a final payment calculation that's different. But in this case, because we're going from this value to 0, so PV to FV is that to 0, that means the payment will adjust accordingly, and it will be a perfect number of payments. It will fit exactly. So the payment amount has to be 1196.29 if you round up. 1196.29. Okay, so that's how much each payment needs to be per month.